It's nice to be invited to talk to you, which is, yes, we are in very challenging times. But I think as we've done together with the clients we share, I think we really need to do the risk assessment and make a decision based on really case-to-case basis to have a look at what would be the safest solution in those circumstances. I think, yes, we have several building sites which are on hold at the moment. They are on hold because there are no materials to carry on working with. Most of the properties we work on are empty, so the builders would not have had any problems carry on working, but the materials are not there. We had clients who were living in hotels and sort of Airbnb solution that had to evict because these had to be closed. So they needed to go back to a building site, unfortunately, and live there. So there are a lot of circumstances that need really, really good, really quick reaction, a lot of thinking outside the box. And I think Karen and I had a conversation about one of our clients, and we talked about the fact that they're known. So even if the situation is not ideal, the known is much better than the unknown. So because we can manage that and we know what we are dealing with, really. So if we're thinking about moving someone during this time, we have to be really super careful because none of the projects that we do are single person's creation. They're all multidisciplinary work. They're all relying on other suppliers and other companies, and we need to really make sure that we are very well aware that any one of those people in that chain could stop working at any point of time. So we really need to be careful with that, and that's why I think what we've suggested with most of the cases we work on is unfortunately to put things on hold and ask people to stay where they are if they haven't moved yet. We've managed to stabilize situation as they were, so people were safe where they are. A lot of our clients had unfortunately lost their carers, and they're dealing with the care as a family, which is another really big challenge. Because if it was the husband that was caring for his wife, it would have been okay if the kids were in school. But if the husband needs to homeschool the kids as well as be the main carer, that is super, super challenging. So to see what we can do, so we work really closely with case managers as well. There are a lot of challenges out there, but I think we as a company are very outside the box anyway with our solutions, and I think that's how we should deal with everything, is to try and figure out alternative ways of doing stuff. So we have with one of the mutual clients we work with at the moment, I've managed to carry on with my work whilst the property is empty, so we're trying to get quotes from building professionals, but we're not going to go ahead with anything until we know that everybody has the materials and they have the supplies to complete the work. Another things that we have done is to order pieces of equipment that we know have a leading time anyway. So to try and order them now, knowing that when we start moving forward, the equipment will be there. So there are a lot of things that you could do. It's just a matter of trying to really break everything into pieces and deal with every aspect of it separately and constantly risk assess.
Presumably a lot of your clients say they're very disturbed by everything that's happening. You're spending a lot of time kind of buoying up people.
Yeah, I think we're talking, as you've said earlier, we are talking to our clients, even sometimes on WhatsApp, on a not every day, but every other day, just a quick message. How are you? Are you still okay? How are things? It's just, I think they get really reassured by the fact that someone's thinking about them, and someone is still there, even to answer the little bit of questions. Shall I do this or the other or whatever? we have different capacities with different one of our cases. Some we are very much involved, so we are more hands-on, and then the communication is more frequent. And some we have a more distant part involved, and so we are more in contact with the case manager, again reassuring we are here. If there is anything that we can help you break down and risk assess together, we are there. I think the benefit from our perspective is that we are occupational therapists. We're not surveyors or architects. And so our ability to risk assess is different. We are familiar with the care needs. We are familiar with the safeguarding needs. We are familiar with the rehabilitation goals. So we know that we can have a look and see the project as a whole, understand what the needs are, and try and support people, even if it is now because they can't go to a physio assessment, make sure that they are delivered with a bench that would be suitable for them to try and complete the task themselves. Then we can do that. So we can assess every little bit of the difficulties they're experiencing and try and come up with creative solutions for it.
I think that's right. Are you finding the same, Robin? It's all about coming up with alternative solutions for a lot of people.
Yes, absolutely. Anava's completely correct in saying that all of these cases need to be looked at individually. They all present their own challenges. You always keep in mind what the boundaries are, and we are finding that everyone, including other parties, perhaps landlords or sellers of properties, builders, are recognizing that we're all facing this together, and so therefore they're being more adaptable to these situations. So people are backing away from the brink, and what I mean by that is where a landlord might want to take eviction proceedings because a tenant hasn't moved out on time, they'll have that discussion, and we'll point out to them that we've got no option, and of course that we will remain in the property even with eviction proceedings. And we don't say that lightly, but we want to move away from the prospect of legal action, but at the same time we're finding landlords completely understand that and understand our situation.